pizza. This is a recipe that was my grandmother's. I believe it's Calabrese or possibly Sicilian. These are my assistants, Olivia and Star, and I'm Chef Chuck. Ta-da! So first you need all your good ingredients. Some Capicola, some of the Sopressata, mozzarella cheese, hard salami, and some sausage should you so desire. You also need some hard-boiled eggs and some regular eggs, and I'll have the whole recipe on the film for you, so don't worry, don't try to write it down. I will put a freeze frame on there for you. Alright, next we will prepare the dough. So I mixed my yeast in my water and I've got it uniformly mixed. I'm then going to next add all of the ingredients except for the flour and get it all nicely mixed. And we will show you from there. Alright, I've now mixed all ingredients except the flour. And I'm going to mix this up by hand until it looks relatively uniform. Then add 1 cup of flour, get it relatively uniform, and then use the mixer. Alright, we'll show you that in a minute. Here's my assistants busy chopping up the eggs. As you can see, you're going to take the hard-boiled eggs and chop them into uniform slices. So we're going to show you that later when we layer the pizza. Alright, now let's get back to the dough. So as you can see, I've mixed everything plus 1 cup of the flour. I've done all this by hand in the bowl until we got a nice uniform blob. You can continue without a mixer if you don't want to use a mixer. I think a mixer does a better job, but if you want to do this by hand, that's okay. I'm now going to attach it to the mixer and start adding the flour slowly. You can see the mixer there. So here we are adding more flour into the mixture. We're going to wait till it looks relatively uniform. I usually put a 1/4 cup at a time in there until it looks about right. Remember, with dough, there's no hard and fast rule. You got to give and take until it looks right. Okay, now we're done using the mixer and we have a pretty uniform dough, as you can see. Now, it's been my experience that you leave it a bit on the sticky side because you're going to use flour to roll it out so that it doesn't stick to your island or whatever you use to mix on, just to roll your dough out. And you're going to have to put some flour on the rolling pin. If you don't leave it sticky, you're going to tend to dry it out. So again, I leave it a little bit sticky. So it sticks a little bit to my finger, but not a lot. And we're going to roll the dough out. So we're going to roll some dough out with a little bit of flour. Like I said, you want to leave it a little on the sticky side so you don't dry it out when you do this part. Just going to roll it out. Pretty simple. I want to make it big enough to fit in a pie dish. We'll get it all rolled out. Okay. Now the tricky part is to fold it in half and put it in the dish. Okay, so you can see I've rolled it out. Now we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to place it in the pie pan. Hopefully it doesn't stick too much. If it does, you got to start over. So I'm going to place that in the pan like this. And then unfold it again. Until we cover the entire dish. Don't worry if we got some holes, we can patch those up. Kind of loosen the dough up so that it falls in the dish like this. You don't want to put too much pressure on the sides. We'll do a little Bondo job on those holes, so don't worry. Alright, the peanut gallery has asked that I show you how I do my Bondo job. So we're going to trim the dough anyway. So I'm just going to take a piece of that and patch up a hole here where I made a hole. I can just patch up these little holes here. It's no big deal. I'll put that aside. Then we're going to go around and trim this all off. I'm going to put a piece here, cover that up. We're going to go around, trim this off real nice with the scissors. We're going to put that dough back in with the other dough to reuse. And you can see we patched up all of our holes, everything looks good. Then we can fill it and put the one on top of it. Alright, we've scrambled 2 eggs here in a dish. We're just going to brush some egg on here in the pie. And we're going to do this between layers. So you're going to save this. I'm just going to brush some of this around without messing up my dough if I can. Get it nice and wet there. And then we're going to start layering it, which we'll show you next. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. So we're going to layer it with our meat. So that's one layer. Grab our next meat, do the next layer. So this is one whole layer. I'm then going to put cheese, brush a little bit more egg. I'm going to actually brush the egg, then put the cheese, brush a little egg, do another layer, and then cover it with cheese. And then another piece of dough. So we'll show you that when we get to that part. So this is completely filled. I'm now going to put this on top of it, fold it over, and then slit it. And I'll show you that. Okay, I'm folding the dough over. Just going to seal it like that. And then we'll put 4 little slits and then we'll cook it. So for that I'm just going to use a sharp knife. Okay, I'm just going to make 4 slits like that and like that, like this and like that. Then I'm going to cook it about 25 minutes. Then I'm going to take it back out and cover it loosely with aluminum foil and cook it the rest of the way so the dough doesn't burn. And we'll show you that next. So here's the finished pie. Hope you enjoyed, and I am going to put up the recipe again on the screen for you. And again, I hope you enjoyed. Happy Easter.